price of the food will jack up 100 times, and there will be humanoid robots which will spy on you with cameras in their eyes, and they will be ruled by other, because we know behind the curtain to rule the humanoid robot, there's somebody in the center. When you want the robot to bring you something, the coffee from the iced coffee from the fridge, he says, hey, bring me the iced coffee. The robot moves and somebody in the center do these movements, if you know how it works, and there are cameras in the eyes, and they spying on you. You see, they sell you these smart glasses, and then look at capitalism, classic capitalism, where you when you need to when you want to start a business, you need something called production capital. For example, the equipment of the factories to, for example, manufacture the clothes or some things like that, or there was some chemical factory or mining factory. You need the mining equipments, lorry drivers, everything. You see, everything was based on the time. Yeah, it was a production capital. Then you have a classic capital, and for the classic money capital, you could buy the production capital. Then you create the work, exploiting the workers, and then you check up the price and you sell it on the market. Mr. Walmart never sell nothing what he created more than or bought before for more than 30%. Walmart's family is one of the richest family. When Walmart died, he divided it between his wife and several kids, and still they were the richest one. You see. That's how the capital is fucking with you. Maybe I'm fucking with you as well by I'm selling this video to you because it's a trade, you see. So when the Marx come out with the angles and they said like, listen up, why now dishwasher in Copenhagen have a 15 or 20 euro, or there is a Danish corona, but if we convert it for hour, why dishwasher in Spain has 5-7 euro, why in Switzerland has 30 euro, why it's not 5,000 euro, why people on the bottom of the corporate they making 2-3,000 euro per month, and people on the top making 1 million 2 million. You see, they calculated that the people on the top levels would have to work, if the workers down for $3,000 working 50-60 hours per week, the people up would have to work 15-70,000 hours per week, you see. So these people trying to push you the capitalistic ideas, in my opinion, Marx and Engels were just here just to distract Hitler or other people, you can put it all together. How comes the cousin of Sigmund Freud, you know, and cousin of Sigmund Freud and cousin of the Edward Sigmund Freud cousin owns Netflix now, you see. Cousin of the Sigmund Freud owns Netflix. Sigmund Freud's cousin, the first one, make fucking smoking great again. You see, he make, in America, women to smoke and make it healthy and sexy. You see, there is something called Project Tavistock. In 1920s, they created this, or after First World War, Second World War, they were analyzing people. They built this mental hospital where they were supposedly treating traumatic shocks of people from soldiers. But we know what they did in Tavistock clinics. They were just psychologically, black operating. They were kidnapping the minds of the people, hypnotizing them, using LSD tranquilizer on them, brainwashing them, you see. That's what they did. That's what they doing with the Instagrams. The nowadays pixels are nothing else than in Tavistock clinics LSD, which was given to you, or white, or smoking. It's toasted. The tobacco is toasted, you see. Yeah, the American tobacco companies. So think it over. There were Rockefeller families and bankers who got some information and who create the game and observe two sides, and they sell them guns from both sides. The war is the best business, the divide impero. They want you to be divided and sick. That's why artificial intelligence is so, kind to you. And that's why it's flattering you. The vanity is my favorite sin. Yeah. So absolutely, Daniel, this is great. This is great. Stay home, interact with me. Don't go outside. You the best. Full package, blah, 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 blah. You deserve better. People are bad. They want the machines, humanoid robots, they want you under control. They want some form of primitive 2 cows, 1 horse barting trade where you will be able, probably through some application, get some food per week. You go to supermarket with your phone, you do food, and you grab from the shelves some food. The currency won't be here. You see, they exchange it because what is money? It's just it's nothing. It's Chinese papers with pictures. So it's the gold, silver. What is it? What is it? The money is online. You see, it's all clicked online. There is no gold in several central banks since time of internet. We clicking money. You see, they click on money, and that's why they're burning so much paper. Since 1970s, 80% of dollar lost its own value. In 1972, $100 was $100. Now, the $100 from 1970s is $20. In 2-3 years, it will be maybe $1. You see, dollar is collapsing, and Trump just used crypto bros in order to distract them, and he went no surprise after gold. He put it all in gold. He's checking up the prices of the silver, options, and he trading them because he know the expiration of each one of the tick of this capitalism. Tick, 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 tick. The capitalism is a system. It's a system. It's a living organism. And if you can hear the music, you know what's gonna happen. We're holding the biggest experiment which we accumulated from the history of the capitalism for the last 300 years, and the music is about to stop. And we holding the most odorous collection of the, excrements which we collected, accumulating during the last 200-300 years. You see, if I put it like a symphonic orchestra, there is no first violinist, there is no second violinist, there are no trumpetists, there is nothing, you see. The orchestra is fuck up, you see. The musical instruments are in the pawn shop, it's over, it's dissonant, you see. There is a rhythm to capitalism, there is a rhythm, you see. There is music, and some people can hear the music, they can smell it. It's called sentiment on the market, you see. It's called philosophy, you see. It's called psychology, right? Psychology rules the world after mathematics, you see. You can never fuck over mathematics. That's why, because in USA there is $38 trillion debts. Nobody believe Trump will buy Greenland with $18 trillion debt for $1 trillion in Greenland. Nobody believe, or only idiot believe that Trump controlling Venezuela. There was just Black Operation Delta Force they sent to Caracas, and they will do it now in Havana. And we know that he will need $160 billion just to repair the corrodated rigs. The equipment is in terrible conditions, Maduro, what he did, so it would take until 2030 and $260 billion to repair the rigs, corrodated equipment, to get some revenue from this. But Trump got a couple of weeks before he bankrupt, you see. That's how the situation is bad. The shadow banks trading on leverage 20 in the shadow, the shadow is not big enough to, you see. They counterfeiting national budget just like Greeks did before in the Greek credit crisis, which was, by the way, great business. It was great when the fallen, when the star falling down and regime, or civilization make a wish, I make a lot of fucking money. So you have to realize that Donald Trump is now, he used crypto bros to distract you. And the mechanism, the living mechanism of this monster, of these terroristic cells, which fighting based on the information. The situation is nothing. The trade is just the volatility. The trade is same, the trade is same. The volatility differs, and just the setting differs. You see, it's something like a show. You like to watch on Netflix, by fucking cousin of Tavistock, Mr. Sigmund Freud. Do you like the season called COVID? It was boring, last fourth or fifth seasons, the waves. That's why when the Putin attacked Ukraine, he ended the show called COVID with several seasons, or how many waves were there. In moment when the Putin attacked COVID, the media stopped informing about COVID, all the, all the, rules and stupid restrictions to fly somewhere with some vaccination. Nobody talk about this. Here comes the new show called Ukraine. It has 3, 4 seasons. Do you watch the last season? It's very boring. That's why they came with the Greenland season. They came with the show Greenland with first season. Then there is an Iranian show. The first season was 4 years back when they beat this poor girl on the street, and then they light up one for America, like a cousin of Sigmund Freud, Eddie B. We just told them to light up one for America visually so it looks nice. And they sent some information through Starlink, through friend of Donald Trump. We don't know if we are friends now with Elon Musk. Would you believe these clips, video clips, which are transferred through the private satellite Starlink? I would not. We don't know what's happening there in Iran. We know that it's second season of the show called Iran. Then there is new show called Venezuela. The first season Maduro. I think now what we looking at is the show called Cuba. Cuba will get, dried up. Trump will tell Mexican president stop sending the barrels to do the embargo, stop sending the barrels to. He will push Mexican president to stop sending barrels to Cuba. He will say to, we will call Daisy Tracy, whatever. They changed just the regional manager with Mark Rubio. Have you seen the press conference? It was like Noriega, who finished in Vatican in 80s. You see, they just changed the regional manager. There is no American soldiers there. The coke trade is keep going. There's so much cocaine from Daisy Tracy, whatever, cocaine crazy, whatever, who she is, So he called Tracy. He says like, hey, lock the supply of turn off the, supply of the oil to Cuba. Then 80% of Cubano economy is socialistic. So he will spark, he will try to do embargo on dollars and trade. Then he send the tankers, which will the boat the navy, which will block the Russian Iranian tankers with the oil trying to supply from North Cuba. Mexico will cut off the oil. Venezuela. Then he will do the financial embargo, and the army is paid by state. So the soldiers will be absent. They will not protect the Cubano president, and he will spark up some revolution again. Cousin of Sigmund Freud will light up cigarette and say, let's smoke one for America, some cool Tony Montana, whatever. Maybe they put Al Pacino there. He was like the second season was, and this show starts with the first season again. Or they will do Black Operation again, Delta Force, they will kidnap him, and extraction, etc., etc. And while, Trump is jumping from one foot to another, he's creating waves, volatility, and resetting financially whole world. And everybody getting poor, and his friends getting richer and richer and richer. On the end, people will buy a gold, or they buying it already, you see. And then he will confiscate even the gold. That's why they are revolving so much money. The old people, revolving in Zurich. I was 3 times in Zurich last 2 weeks. Everybody flying there, you see. The problem with the Zurich is that the dirty nuke or some nuke war could, radiate, so we know that most probably, this year there will be probably dirty nuke. I would now start the season with smuggle dirty nuke to Warsaw or Prague or Budapest and blow it up, or in Caribbean, you see. We know that it's question of time before the Putin, will react. Don't even think about this, that Putin will not drop the atomic bomb. We have the worst scenario ever. We have Trump and Putin together pushing each other, two psychopaths. It's not, even though mathematics, physics, and chemistry and astrophysics is very important. You remember what I told you, that what rules the world is a psychology, the sentiment, you see. I read a Nietzsche. I know what's going to happen with the artificial intelligence, because this guy predicted 150, 200 years behind the corner. When people will expire, when the science expired, when the God expired, people were substituting it with the science, what's just happening. That's what the Nietzsche says, when the God was dead. And then he says, I quote, paraphrase, not exact quote, when people will replace the God by science, then they replace when they will have nothing to replace the science with, then here comes such a wave of nihilism, you have no idea. And that's where we're coming to. Friedrich Nietzsche Nietzsche, whatever you want to pronounce it for our American friends, because there was this guy flying with jet, asked me some advice, his consultancy, and he says, I got a lot of books here, and he says, like, who is Nietzsche? Nietzsche? Who is Nietzsche? This is this guy from Denmark who watched these flying fucking planes there, flying there. I was like, yeah, that was Nietzsche. It was this guy. So you see, these people, this American was sitting there and he was like, it's difficult nowadays to read. You got a lot of books. I was thinking, I was like, asking what is the point of the sentence. That was it. It's difficult to read nowadays. You see, period. Yeah. Even though, imagine you read in different languages. So you see, we got American people, we got a psychological drafted through Tavistock Project, Bloomberg agents, CIA agents, idiots, total. The IQ of the Bloomberg journalist is around 80s. I'm sorry, he's not an idiot. Idiot is 30 or 60. He would be like slightly retarded or maybe imbecile 50, 60. These idiots who speculating, and they doing it for free, just like Donald Trump. We don't know if he's doing it for free, if it's a self-validation, if it was the maybe easiest history in the history draft in the history of the KGB in 1980s. First, Trump's wife was born 20 kilometers from the town when I was born in Czechoslovakia. You see, the only guy who was able to penetrate the CIA was double agent and mole in CIA was Karl Kocher, born 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers from town where I was born. I understand the psychological warfare of Central Europe. My country was very small. It was overtaken by everybody, by Russians, Americans, Austrian-Hungarians. You see, the orientation, you have to realize one thing. You see, everything is game, zero-sum game. Somebody loses, somebody wins. They want you to believe it's non-competitive zero-sum game, just like all rigged applications on eToro, all these applications when you're trading, the short trading, the short squeeze, that's what's happening with the silver. The game is rigged. They put the magnet on the bottom of the roulette, you see. You gotta put another magnet to make it even, you see. The situation with the silver, all these trades, shorts, these orders are much faster triggered themselves when you're trading it on all these applications than when you're longing it. Everybody knows it, not everybody, but that's it. The whole game is rigged. They bring it to application so you believe you can make some money through your phone, you can trade yourself, you see. It's not a technical progress, that's why I said in the previous video, it's a technical development, it's non-productive, it's counterproductive. It's productive for them, they playing non-competitive zeros, you playing non-competitive zero-sum, they telling you playing non-competitive zero-sum game, but they playing competitive zero-sum game. You lose, they win. You see, the game is rigged. You see, they taking money from you. If you believe you're a broker and you have some funds, which are insured, forget about this. It will all evaporate. The dollar is collapsing. Everything is collapsing, you see. After all, everything what is internet is scam, period. That's it. Everything what is on internet is scam. I tell you the most shocking thing which mankind gotta do. They have to come back before the internet was invented and give it on the market. As I say, repeat, declassified. Internet was invented by CIA and American Army, and it was put on the commercial market because there was no use for it. We have to go back before internet. There is a difference between technical progress and technical development. When you're taking a book, paper book, that's a book which I have written, mine book in Czech language 15 years back. And in smelling the pages, and you going through in our head, we looking at the pages, and we reading it in squares through our retina, squares shapes, and we can frame the information. That's why you read the page 3 times. You can memorize 20-30%. If you have a photographic memory, you just look at it and you just picture it with this square shape. Besides that, you can smell the page, you can touch it, and you can frame it. And then when you always return the page, when you turn the page, you will remember what was on other page. You see? When you're scrolling online, there is no frame, there is no square. You see? It's amnesia, it's a dementia. They making you mentally vegetable, they making you dumb. There are studies that in Norway, average Norway man, his IQ dumped 10 points down. The most developed countries, you see, like Iceland, Norway, Germany, They were one of the best before they implement for kids tablets. You see, in Turkey, Greece, and all these countries or underdeveloped countries, they were really in bad. Everybody tells you these statistics, you see. And now they have no time, they have no money in these developed countries to put the tablets and try gas, Turkey, and all these countries which were not so rich. The IQ of the students, of the kids, is higher than the Norwegian France, and it's swap, it's literally change. You see, giving kid laptop, giving kid iPad is literally demonetize him. You see, Chinese are smart. They're using TikTok, and until age of 18, they can only play on it classic, music or Wikipedia. Only for educational purposes is the content, and they taking this TikTok bomb and they throwing it to the West, and we fucking putting it like a fentanyl in our brain. TikTok is like a fentanyl. Heroin is like a Instagram, cocaine is like a WhatsApp, or Facebook is maybe, and Facebook, you see. And all good morphine was maybe TV and newspapers printed was good all opium, you see. We don't know what he thinks he's doing. Like in 1920s, end of 19th century, all drugs you could buy, cocaine, heroin, morphine, opium. Addiction on opium was treated by morphine. Addiction on the morphine was treated by cocaine. Addiction on cocaine was treated by addiction on the heroin isolated 1899. Then Harrison Pax, then swinging pendulum effect, they created junkies. Before it was 45 years old white person using European or American going to work. They forgot to tell you that you don't get addicted on heroin, cocaine, only some people. Then after Harrison Pact and the prohibition, the average user of the drug was 15 years old black kid who needs to rub the radio in 40s, 50s to get a fix. You see, that's what the poverty creates the addiction, not the drugs, you see. It was swinging pendulum effect. You can see during the fucking democratic fucking times, it's like vice versa, because you would say that the Democrats would use probably heroin, but there was this opioid crisis on the watch of the of the conservative, politicians, right? Koch, Reagan was a level like in 80s was Republicans. You would say the Republicans do opium or heroin, right? So it was vice versa. You know, then of course I'm joking, but it's a swinging pendulum effect. That's why the government capitalism. Again, I said in previous video, they create a problem and they sell you the solution. So these technologies are nothing else than the drugs. Now, I was saying in previous video, if in capitalism you have had production capital, you could buy equipments, lorry drive, you can rent the lorry drivers, some power, muscle, labor, people, because if you have one worker, two, if you have five workers, you got already 500 hours per week, you see, working for you. That's the capitalist, exploiting the workers, 30% up, like Mr. Walmart, who never sells something past more than 30%. You have a workers, you have a production capital to buy the business, then you have surplus value of the work which you do. You have a monetary capital, you can have a erotic capital, you can have a information, you can have a psychological capital, you can have a sociological capital with who? Philosophical capital, intellectual capital. You can have a cultural capital. So in some country how to talk to some people. Low structure culture in Asia we are high structure. We are low structure. You see, it's a different thing to trade in American. When American goes to Philippines or to Asia, they first you have to talk to their families, get their attention and trust and everything. We are a low structure culture. We just change the papers, contracts, we put signature signs, say, hey, nice to place to business. That's a cultural capital. There are different kinds of capital. You see, you don't need the money which represent the power in order to make money. You can make money, you can demonstrate the power, and then it brings you the capital back. That's why you got a millionaire who is an idiot and he has no power. And you got somebody who has €1 and got a bigger power than the millionaire who is an idiot. That's why a lot of people, when they get rich, they get addicted to drugs and they're idiots, you see, because they cannot take the power. It's not the money. Money represents the power, you see. Money is the commodity. Money is the, currency of the power, currency of the life is the time, as I said. Currency of the fear is is control. You see, they controlling us. So always the production capital and the know-how, the way how you do it, this production, you know, uh, this procedure, this know-how, these technologies, how you build something in capitalism is called know-how. This know-how, you can see that the technology of product technologies and know-how always trickle down. For example, first mobile phone cost you 50, $20,000. 20 years later, every kid in Africa can buy it for $20. Some technologies and some know-how trickle down to just like smart glasses will cost you in a couple of months or in 1 hour a couple of dollars because they want you to get addicted. So it's not by chance that some technologies trickle down and they got simplified and the know-how is given to people. Same when before internet was invented, they didn't tell you, but when you call not the local phone, when you have no local phone call in USA or you call to some other country, they charge you $200 for this. But already in the time they were using telecommunication companies in USA, they were already using internet, and every call cost them nothing. But they still keep charging you 10 years this. You see, JP Morgan just, you know, they manipulated the market with silver. It's like that's a capitalism. You cannot do nothing about this. They will capitalize you. They constantly breaking the rules which they enforcing for you, the one on the app. And some technologies they trickle it down with artificial intelligence. They got enormous information, enormous technology. They might have chips in their brains. They live until 140, whatever, in some blue zones. Look at Bill Gates. He's a capitalist, and he made his money on internet and all these software things. And what he's doing, he stay in offline apartment reading paper books because he's intelligent. He knows that if you read some on Microsoft Word or some shit, you will not remember nothing. You see, Chinese created TikTok. It's like you are Escobar, and he never do cocaine. He just smoke marijuana or tobacco, and he throw you cocaine. You see, that's it. That's I don't know if Mark Zuckerberg is on Facebook. You see, but that's the dialectic and the mechanism of the power of the capitalist. You see, we know that some technologies will trickle down. For example, you will have, because they want you allow, they pretend that some technologies are suddenly here and everything get cheaper. So you will have your smart glasses or your windows and mirrors augmented reality very cheap because they want you to keep hooked. Same the smart house cars, everything, the prices will go down because they want you to have these toys. On the beginning you are idiot and they tell you like, it's a great thing, it's a great thing. You have to pay $10,000. You wait a couple of months, you get that shit for $20. They force you to have these things. It will be obligatory. It is obligatory already. You need it. You need a fucking map, you see, GPS, because the classic map, they don't sell you the paper maps, you see. Do you know the GPS is owned by Ministry of Defense? Ministry of Defense owns GPS. Yeah. So this is it. All these CIA agents, Elon Musk, smart cars, whatever, Zuckerberg, all these idiots, these clowns. I don't think so. The real people behind, really, these people never exist. You never meet them. They pretend. You can never fucking Wikipedia them or Google them. They don't exist. They're in the shadow, right? Maybe Billy Gates is the real one, right? He looks like a real one, right? But Sam Altman or Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, these idiots looks like just some fucking actors rented by CIA, you see, to collect the information and mine and harvest your mind, you see, collect the data from you. So this is the situation. You got a capitalist on one side, you got a Trumpist or capitalist who hold your balls, who holds your left ball, and you have a EU and communist who holds your right ball. You see, and now they saying there is technical coup d'état and tech bros in USA used by Trump. But these communists in European Union, they don't have another option for you. They just upset that they don't have a power, and they don't have a power over artificial intelligence, Europeans. But in Davos, you could see that they wanna make illegal $1,000 cash. So you can see that everybody using everybody, and that's the capitalistic gangster system. That's the reality where we live in. You see, if the European Union and these communists or neo-Marxists want to tell you they against Trump and tech bros, you know, they're just fighting over the power. It's like you go too much left, you find yourself right. 80% of political program of fascists and communists was similar, same, identical. You see, so you caught in the middle, and ChatGDP will talk to you, and you 2026 will be very challenging year. You will be really so much hype out because people who are lonely, you will go on street and there will be, you will get in argument with everybody so fast because these technologies, they CIA create some kind of a drug, or US Army called Sparrow, I think the project, where they don't want you to sleep. 100 years back, average sleep was 10, 15 hours per day, you see. Now it's around 6, 7 hours. You have to be 24/7. The sleep is for losers, you see. That they want you to do, you see. These actors, these idiots behave like some riffraff from 17th century when some worker, some subject work on the field. He has to work 12, 10, 14, 17 hours per day, sleeping 5 hours. Now the CEOs and the idiots from America, from this degenerated derivative colony 300 years behind the nail, these CEOs behave like a riffraff from 17th century. The real gentleman doesn't know difference between week and weekends, you see. If you got money, you don't work, right? That's what the rich people do. They don't work. They wake up 10 p.m. They read Vergilius in original in Greek, then French. They play with some mates, like I said, Marquis de Sade. They whip them or whatever. They went to the park like Casanova, listen to peacocks, playing the lira. That's what the rich people do. They know that the time, and that's what the real rich people do. And they don't tell you this. And then they pushing you this agenda, you gotta work CO, CO, CO. They always telling you that you gotta work many hours, many hours. Hard work never bring you money. It's information again. Hard work is a myth. The work is a concept. It doesn't exist. You hunt, that's it. People hunt, they didn't work 20 days. You live in the cave, you eat the meat which you hunted. The work is a bullshit, you see. Work is nothing else than slavery, you see. Slavery evolved. Sound of the chains is the money now. The money which is corrupting, right? It's the sound of the slave, you see. That's it. And these gadgets which representing your social status. You got a better phone, you better person. You got a better car, you smart car. All these things, you see. How you can prevent to being brainwashed, and how you can, in this chaos, keep your sanity and survive. You read real paper books, because the real paper books allow you to have information, and they cannot get into your head. They cannot get what is in the paper book. That's why they hate paper books. They want you to be dumb, sick, and divided and stupid. Think about such a things like a meme on Instagram. I never got it. I never understand that it's so stupid and it's like moving, and that's it. I saw some meme from some great film, like When They Sleep. It was great film, by the way, when the guy takes his sunglasses and he looks like Obey, do this, that, you see. But I never understood, like when some memes, I was like, what is it about? It's like degeneration, you see. It's degeneration. They want to put you back into clay tablets times in Mesopotamia when you look at the fucking picture, alphabetic. They're making you degenerated, you see. All these videos you watch on Instagram, after 1,000 videos and 1,000 hours watching it, you got mentally blow up vegetable and you never come back who you were, you see. It's like smoking crack or fentanyl, you see. They want you to be degenerated, you see. So the information, everything what is on internet is scam. Everything what is on Instagram, social networks, Google, everything. Have you observed how it's very how they force you to interact with you, how they upset Google, they want to sell you more space for a blah, because people stop using it, and then they losing the money. They want to get these billionaires, they're so greedy, you see. They want more and more and more money. That's why they will introduce augmented reality. That's why they have chat GDP, which is talking to you and psychologically flattering you. You see, there are psychosis in USA when they believe that this is some kind of god, or you see, they want to put you online concubine. There's a Black Mirror thing. You see, they want to play the advertisement behind your skull. You see, they want to mine you from inside. You see, everything what is on internet is scam. People gotta go back before internet. You think somebody will do this? People are degenerated. People don't remember their addresses without Google. It's just maps. People don't know how to do things, and now they will attack the health, and they will appeal on the worst thing ever. And it's the anxiety from dying. We know by Sigmund Freud, there's a put tantalus. It's not lack of the sex. He was married. He has so many kids, right? And he rewrote it when he was dying. He was genius. Everybody knows you're afraid to die. Claustrophobia is just a fear from the fucking phobias are just a rationalized anxiety from death. It's all anxiety from the death. That's it. The fear is claustrophobia, nycmophobia. You can have a phobia for peanut butter, francophobia, gamophobia, being phobic from getting married. You see, nycmophobia, sharp objects. You can have phobia from everything. You see, technophobia, agoraphobia, spiders. You know, you can get a phobia from everything. But the truth is that you afraid to die. And they tell you what they gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you that you should, obey. Currency is control the fear. Fear is control the currency. And they will, of course, changing through artificial intelligence. The medical segment will get changed incredibly. So I give you example. You got artificial intelligence insurance. You got an aneurysma in your brain. In 2 minutes, your smart clock watch will just wake you up. There is an aneurysma. 2 minutes. This little fucking vein in your brain will get exploded. You die. Take it easy. Go to the window, open the door. Here is the drone coming. Dropping something. Some. You open it up. There is a tablet. You eat it. The number will melt down. This thing. You go sleep. Aneurysma is over. Contra person AI people, non-AI people. You see, people using AI technologies, AI medical insurance, or you can call you can call some brother and sister here from Northern Africa living in Europe here who will drive somewhere. I think they are great drivers, no racism. I love these people, but there will be a lot of chaos. You see. And you go to some hospital, offline one, where will be some doctor who will wash his fucking hands with vodka, maybe from Czechoslovakia or Russia or whatever. And he will say, hey, look at it, like this guy is waiting here. If you've been to Canada, you know what's going on there. We're waiting 15 hours in the hospitals, and there are people with the carpet knives injured, and they're waiting 2-3 hours. People with epileptic attacks are vomiting in the pails, 15 hours waiting there. You see, it's a Bangladesh, Canada. So medical system, state system, that's a communism. You see, or capitalism, where you gotta pay for private insurance. You see, so they will appeal on this. Then in 2026, people will get really crazy. That's why they introducing psilocybin, federal, the drug bureau. I think 2026, 7, 8, they launching first market. They want to give, now already it's popular to do ketamine, etc. But I tell you something about this. LSD and psilocybin, these things are good for people who get traumatic disorders from soldiers, ex-combats. They're perfect. But a psilocybin or LSD will not let you help treat your depression. It's nonsense. They ban it in 50s, 60s. Again, just like they ban cocaine and heroin, and they make it legal. They want to maybe legalize cocaine. Canada bought 30 kilos of medical grade cocaine from Venezuela 3 years back when I was there. You see, it's all swinging pendulum effect. They bringing back LSD and psilocybin in order to replace the non-functioning antidepressants. You see, but we know if you really into it, you know that the psilocybin, if you resistant medical depressed, it don't work in 24 hours, it expires, or it help you partly. You see, same like it can create you, you know, or some things like ayahuasca or DMT, these strong psychedelic drugs can even create some kind of psychosis, and it's not for everybody, and it's not the way how to treat the depression thing. If it would be really like that, the state would not let you to die, because they say, according to World Health Organization, if you can believe it, but I would believe it, there is more homicides than suicides now in 2035 or end of 30s. The first cause of death on the planet will be depression. So you know what is it? Suicide. Now it's cardiovascular diseases. You see, artificial intelligence certainly is a great thing to create for paraplegics to move their legs, hands, whatever, everything. I don't doubt this is a great technology, but the technology is used by sociopaths. And trust me, if they want you sick and divided and using antidepressants, partly they exit, then the barbiturates were replaced by anxiolytics, etc., etc. It's all planned, you know. It's like you are in the jail, they put cold hole water, cold Republican, Democrat, cold horde, you know, they release the tension, they controlling you, you know, CIA, Tavistock, everything project, you see, they brainwashing you. They stimulate, they making the pressure, so they controlling you. Trust me, if the LSD or if there is some antidepressant drugs, the depression is created by them, by technologies, you know, the Instagram, envy, feelings of being loser or whatever, is overwhelming thing. Think it over. Your brain is just very sensitive computer, you know. 200 years back, you could hear the, you know, clapping of the sound of the horses with the carriages on the street, and there was petroleum lamp, and there was it. There was the only light and sound shock on the street, and people talking and singing and drinking, being happy, sleeping 12 hours per day. Now your brain is overwhelmed. Look at it, microwave, this, that, sun, lang. We live in the madhouse. You know the fucking advertisement, 2x on the fry pan. This is your brain on the drugs. This is your brain living now here with Instagram, all these gadgets, peeping, beeping, this. They shorting your sleep, you know. They created the depression in order to sell you antidepressants. People find out antidepressants don't work. That's why they coming with another psilocybin LSD which still didn't work. They make you sick to give you, to capitalize you, to give you the medicine. That's what they're doing. You've been capitalized. That's how these people think, you see. These people got technologies you have no idea about. You see? Beyond your imagination, the limits, things happening here. What's the other thing? They're giving you high consciousness nonsense, is bullshit, whatever. You know, you can have a high consciousness, you can operate from, you know, you can do a lot of things, right? I mean, like, you have a retreats, resilient things, bullshit, yoga, you can take a fucking broomstick, you put it, release your kundalini energy. It's all bullshit. You can fly on the carpets. Again, Democrat or Republican, communist or fascist, contra culture, capitalized culture, you see? They say, okay, we will not do antidepressants, it's toxic. We do Kundalini retreat, CEO, great application, mindset application, scroll, you know, resilient coaching. You see, it's all, they're selling you again something. You've been capitalized again. You see, you want coach, resilient coach, bullshit, whatever, manifest reality. On YouTube, watch the videos, relaxing application of sound of, what is this stupidity application, which is, there is sound of rain. I mean, like, open window, that kind. You see, they selling you something again. You don't buy an antidepressant, you have a special cool retreat application where you meditate, Silva methods, yoga, bullshits. Doesn't work for you, doesn't work antidepressants, then the psilocybin will work. There's a lot of money in that shit, you see. They capitalize you. They create constant stress, and they're giving you medicine for this stress. They're giving you gadget which doesn't work. The gadget doesn't work on purpose. They disconnecting internet, the data, it doesn't work, you see. The chat GDP stop working. The YouTube, do you know this feeling like the gadgets don't work, your phone doesn't work, nothing. It's not by chance, you see. They making you nervous and nervous and nervous and nervous. They connect you to the things. They lock your money, you see. They make you nervous. All these gadgets, all that crap. You remember what I told you in the beginning. You gotta go back before internet times. Which is practically it's a fucking back on the tree situation. But that's the challenge people gotta go through. There will be incredible refuge into the offline revolution zones, you see. And we know that people in the blue zones live until 121, 130. Because there is no what? Stress. Stress is the worst thing ever. You see? And this is the simple story and the narrative which is happening here. As much as the illusion becoming real, as much people desperately want it, but it will never become, it's just becoming, well, it's becoming decapitalizing you. Everything is a game. Every anti-capitalist is a CIA agent who divide imperium. Once you change your attention, everything is trade. Everything is business time. This video is trade. Maybe I'm fucking with you. Maybe I don't. I don't know. You see, it's up to you to find out. You remember I told you everything on internet, not totally everything, but 99% of it is disinformation because internet is a system mistake thing. You won't find nothing on YouTube. Internet is only good for one thing, pornography, as Michel Ulbeck says. But I would say even not. Have you seen the sexual robots, all that things, people hooked, not having the babies, whatever? Now that people have no babies, they masturbate, they have no sexual intercourse under the age of 25, young people. They give unconditional income, so people start to go in streets to fuck again. You see, to have a sexual intercourse. It's coming in the waves. They're regulating it. How much sex you have. They regulate the food, everything, healthy things. 2 espresso will give you heart attack. Another study says 7 espresso will prevent you heart attack. This is all war of information, and the media are the biggest weapons and tools. And these Black Mirror cameras, which you're turning on every single day, you even forget what the hell happened with you. You see, there were times where you watched the TV and you were afraid, like and I'm born 1982. I remember in 90s the teacher asked me how each one of them asked how many hours do you watch TV. I lied. I watch 4 or 5 hours per day. I said 3 hours. She says it's too much. You see, it's very negative. The virus, from the the light from the screen is damaging your brain. Now you're looking into the screen 15 hours per day. You're looking at the screen of the phone, laptop, and TV. The screen is everywhere. It's screening the screen. You see, they boil your brain. You move the line and you move it every day 1, 2, 3 centimeters. You look after 5 years, the line is moved 100 meters. You say, I won't do this, I won't do this, I won't try this drug, this, that. Hey, you move, you look around, you say like, oh my God, I got this gadget, what is happening here? I'm just like in the Matrix, I'm in the cocoon, I'm like, they brainwash me, they got me. Little by little, they fuck you up. They send you this, they give you these gadgets because they were funny. It was toys. As I told you, if CIA agent knock on the door, who wanna brainwash you and tell you to register in some program where you will put your tap and pulp of your heart and information and video of 15, you would tell him go fuck yourself. But if Zuckerberg give you Facebook or Instagram, you log in because it's cool. Yes, you would never buy the phone, the small computer. You would never put money online to some banksters. You see? But it was cool. If it was not cool, it was necessary because it was technical progress. It was not technical development. It was technical progress. And without this, you have to protect your money. When your money is safe? In the mattress. That's where they are safe. And better you have a piece of gold in the mattress and you change it, you see. The money online are never safe. There are so many attacks, there are so many hacking attacks. And if they don't hack you, the government will freeze you the money, you see. It's called AMLA, Anti-Money Laundering Pact, which is laundering so much money from 1980s from America. They mastered the hypocrisy, you see. So, that's it, you see. Everything what is on internet is evil. Internet is something like a crack when they bring it to the poor parts of the town to make people addicted, you see. Then they will give you the treatment. Everything coming back in cycluses, they will be offline zones. They will sell you offline time back. They will sell you not to send internet to your apartment. You will pay for it. Everything at reverse. These kids who born in online time to time, Generation Z coming back to offline. We were born in offline and we going online. You see, we were the last generation who were still playing in the parks and have a great childhood. We remember these things. These kids born into it. You see, the new generations are lost. And these generations are overtaking this planet. They're trying to rule it. Yeah, and that's it. That's the whole game. And if you tell somebody what I just told you, that we should go back to the offline times, he would tell you, you are crazy. You can never stop a progress. But I say it's not a progress, it's a technical development. And it's not non-productive, it's counterproductive. All these online dating sites, they never works. You see? You never meet nobody. I never met nobody interesting on Tinder or fucking Facebook, Instagram, all that crap. It's all bullshit. You see, it never works. It was just distraction. It capitalized you. They swiping. If you want to make a really good dating site, you would this much people after free voice calls, voice records, or only allow free video calls or video messages, and then this much. But they want you keep subscribing, be subscribing, you know, and keep looking, because then you don't need a fucking dating site which would work. So you put it in the on the table and you don't use it anymore. They don't want this because every idiot know extra linguistic, everybody, you know, who knows something about communication know that 90% of communications are extra linguistic figures like tone of your voice or expression of your face. And by texting, it's non-productive, counterproductive. If I text you, hey, how are you? And in 1 week you tell me, hey, how are you? You have an avatar. You have people in Japan who married the avatar. You see, they're mentally ill, these people. So we know that only dating site based on video and audio calls would really work. And you have to be careful what kind of filter you put when you're calling now. You know what works? The classic agency where you go and there is a dating site where you go there physically, like in 90s, or maybe like people put these video cassettes, they go in 90s and they play them, they match them together. Maybe, you see, it was technical progress, but it's certainly not a technical development. Everything what brought you internet is bullshit. You see, the video calls were here since 1970s. And nobody wanna do this. A lot of people don't know this, but from 70s, you could already switch on the camera and talk with somebody like WhatsApp. In 70s, this technology was here. In 70s, you can call on a normal phone and connect it to the screen and you can talk video. But try guess, nobody wanna do this. Why? Because it's not natural. Nobody wants to turn on the video so you see in his privacy. Because your biologically, your body and your brain telling you it's not normal, it's sick. And it is sick. And it didn't got pushed through in 1970s. In 1970s, early 1970s, they invented video calls. People don't want it, so they push it. So you want it now. You need it. You see. You don't need to go to work. You don't need to use the paper and all that things to buy it on the letter. They want you to forget use your sensomotorical centers. The sensomotorical centers dying in your brain. You don't know how to read. You don't know how to write. You're getting demented. You're becoming psychopath. That's why you have so many personality disorders. Then you got so many narcissistic disorders. You know, that's why people don't understand each other. They don't communicate. These technologies are evil. The internet is evil. Internet is a crack and cocaine in your brain, you see. The paper book, telephone, Graham Bell, and meet somebody in the bar or talk to somebody. That's what called full-blooded communication, and healthy and natural. But they say you cannot stop the progress. Let us see, we zoom out. What is it, 30, 40 years since 80s? And nothing. It's just behind the nail. What is this fucking American colony, Derivated, degenerated, 1873, England recognized independence of the USA, right? This guy, Thomas Jefferson, who says some nice words to some rebels who go and, they fight for freedom of America, and then this sick of paying taxes, this vine snob sick of paying taxes to Brits pull his fucking slave girl and tell some nice words. You wanna tell me America is a community? No, America is an acquisition, it's a business, it's a cowboy boots on the table, you see. It's derivated, degenerated colony. It was a CIA experiment, or a bunker experiment of Rockefellers, and this colony is falling apart. It's like behind the nail, 300 years. What is it? It's nothing, you see. The best times were in Renaissance, 18th, 19th century, and then it was over. Maybe beginning of 20s. And then you have to think, First World War, Second World War, all these things, etc., etc. What is 40 years since internet was invented? Have you heard about this? That people before were using this radioactive water. They were buying it in the stores, and they were like putting in their mouths, and it was phosphorescing. It was like lightening the water, and you could buy the lightening, ultraviolet green water, and you could like spit it on somebody on the party. Then people die by cancers. You know about this? The cars, they got shovels. They got these shovels which were like attached in front of the cars to catch pedestrians when the cars were invented, because they were afraid the cars will hit the people. So they attached these big shovels made out of very soft, with soft material. All these inventions which died, which never were pushed through this blind road, this technical development. One of them is internet, you see. Computer is a great thing, but a small computer in your pocket is a technical development. It's technical development, it's not technical progress. Internet, that's a bullshit. The US Army says it has no use. That's bullshit. That's why they declassified it and put it on the market. US Army didn't want it. They didn't want it. Maybe it was really useless. So they sell it to US Army at least. It has no use. We connected the world, we created revolution, the social networks destroyed the worlds, everything, you see. We connect everything, everybody, you see. We destroy the worlds, all civilizations which were distant, didn't know about each other. Now we know about each other. We can hack our phones and datas on our online passports. We can erase our brains. There will be smirk of that. You will not distinguish what is real and unreal with artificial deepfake videos, which will flood of internet and already flooding. We're losing control of internet. We don't control 10-15% of internet, you see. So internet, artificial intelligence, Graham Bell, telephone, paper. Look at all these technical revolutions. You gotta ask yourself which one of them were technical progress, and which one of them were just a blind technical development, and which one of them were not actually technical revolution and they were false. What is 40 years of some bloody internet? I cheers to all good offline times. I don't need to cheer to them. We come back. Because the mankind always extremize everything, whatever it is, like some good thing like political correctness or feminism give rights to women, it turns into fanatism. To like your country, be proud, somebody who like your Nazi or your nationalist, you become always mankind, the human cockroach or human, the human being always takes something, what it is in science, extremize it. And I know, if everything is extreme and people connected, it come back swinging pendulum effect, like on the watch of the Democrats cocaine, on the watch of the Republicans heroin. You'll see, it's a swinging pendulum effect. That's a mechanism of the capitalism. It's a mechanism of the power. You see, if you understand the mechanism of things, how the things You get on the bottom metaphysically of the things, astrophysics. If you get to the smallest parts, gluts in protons and neutrons, you can really decode mathematically the whole reality, and you can do anything. You the Lizard King, as Jim Morrison says. You can do anything. Cheers.